And I tell you, when you hear a report firsthand, it gives a different perspective. And you know, this friend that Pastor Angie and I were talking to this morning, she said that during the hurricane, their homes started blowing away. I mean, gone, just up and left. And she has a business, and the business is a small space. But she said she ended up having 200 people in her business just so that they could survive. After the storm, she told us of an incident where one of her relatives was walking around and picking up babies and putting them in bags. I tell you, this was a challenge like we've never seen before. But our help still comes from the Lord. And people have said a lot of things about the Bahamas. You know, I've seen our own people, they said, you know, Abaco is finished. Grand Bahama is finished. We are not finished. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. You know, we prayed during the storm. We asked God for intervention. But at the end of the day, that's all past us. What's ahead of us now is that we will rebuild, we will recover, we will restore, and we will be better than ever before. Amen? I want to update you on what we are doing, because the most important thing now is what we are doing to help. And we have come up with a hurricane relief plan. We've been working all week. We've been working hard. And we have a team that we've assembled together. I'm going to ask Pastor Kirsch to come up with me. And I want to share with you our plan, and then we're going to let you know how you can help. First of all, you can pray, and we thank you for praying. But beyond prayer, there are several things I want you to be aware of. You see a website on the screen. This is our hurricane relief website. You can share that with your friends, your family members. This is actually on our website, or you can write it down and you can share it with everybody. It's bahamasfaithministries.org/hurricane relief. That is a key site for all of our efforts. That contains all of the information that you need to assist, to help, and to direct people. We've put together a team. This past week, we've been putting together a team. The team is headed by Pastor Kirsch and Suzette. And this team is our hurricane relief and recovery team. This team, we are partnering with ITWILA, the International Third World Leaders Association, and Bahamas Faith Ministries to lead our efforts in recovery. We have organized as efficiently as we can to gain maximum benefit. So Pastor Kirsch is heading the effort. The rest of the pastoral team all have assignments. And then we have team leaders. And I'm going to ask those team leaders to come up in a moment. What are our areas of focus? There are several things that we are focused on. The first thing we are focused on is relief and recovery. Right now, people need relief and they need recovery. So we have put together efforts to bring about relief wherever we can and recover whatever we can. People also have medical needs, and so we have a medical team that's working to assist. We have a financial assistance team. We have a team that's coordinating with our international partners. We have a team that is identifying our members' needs and addressing those needs. Some of you may not realize it, but we've had members in Nassau impacted by the hurricane. We had a few of our members who lost everything through flood. You know, sometimes we only think about the wind, but Nassau was flooded in some areas. I saw a video on YouTube with somebody with a boat down Pinewood Gardens. So we are looking at our members' needs. Then we have to look at housing. A number of people have been displaced. There are a number of evacuees coming into Nassau, and so we have to find housing for them. Then we are focused in on counseling and evangelism. Counseling, we want to comfort people, but many people, the help that they really need is they need God. And so we want to be available to give them a message of hope that will not only change this situation, but it will change their lives forever. Amen? And then we have another team that's focusing on logistics. So what are our priorities? These are our priorities that we are focusing on. We are focusing on, first, help with basics for survival. Providing or restoring shelter. Some people have lost their roofs and homes, so we have to restore. Medical assistance, counseling and prayer, rebuilding, restoring, and re-emerging. Now let's talk about the logistics. How is this happening? Right now, what has happened in the past week is I've been on the phone every day and on my email every day. And we have international partners that are from around the world who are trying to help. So we have been speaking with them to coordinate help. I've been on the phone with many ministries from around the United States in particular, but also around the world. And many of them have already assisted. We have had shipments by helicopter into Freeport, by plane into Freeport, by boat into Abaco, by boat into Freeport, and I'm going to describe in detail some of the things that have already been done. We are setting up a local warehouse right here, so whatever you can contribute, and we'll provide you with a list of things that are needed. Whatever you can contribute, you can bring it here. That list includes personal products. It includes some of the things that you see there, the generators and so on. But I'll go into more detail in a moment. We have a bank account in the United States for those of you who have friends who want to contribute. The information is on the link in the website, the link that we gave you. It has the bank account number. It has the Cash App number. There's something called the Cash App where Americans can give cash. And it also has the Venmo link. If it doesn't have the Venmo link, it will have the Venmo link. We are coordinating with our international partners to get things done. And then we are also overseeing local distribution and shipping. So we are shipping from Nassau to Abaco and Freeport, as well as international shipments. Tomorrow we have a boat going out. The boat is going to carry that generator over there. It's going to carry these other things that you all have brought on, some of the things on the side there. So whatever comes in, we are going to ship out in those locations. Now, I want to just share with you the teams that we have in place. And what we need is we need you to assist these team leaders so that we can be as effective as we can. We need people on the ground. We need people to assist. We need people to call and so on. So these are the teams that we have in place. In the financial area, we have Pastor David Knowles, and he has other persons working along with him, Pastor Claudine. Aviation, this is a very important team. If you are in the aviation industry, if you have a plane, know of a plane, or if you have knowledge of logistics. But Pastor Pat Roll is leading that team, and I'm going to ask the team members to come up as I call them. Just come up on the stage. Pastor Pat has been strategic. Let me tell you why Pastor Pat has been strategic. Pastor Pat is the former director of civil aviation in the Bahamas. So I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the airport opened, the first day the airport opened, Pastor Pat was able to speak with the pilots of the helicopter who were coming in and get clearance. Now, clearance was not easy because there were a lot of things going on. There's a lot of red tape that you had to go through. But he happens to be the guy who was in charge of all the previous red tape. So he cut through all of that and got it done. And he's been on the phone today with pilots. Yesterday, he was giving a guy instructions because the pilot was going into Freeport, but he had to tell the pilot, look, there's no fuel in Freeport, so you better fuel up where you are now with enough fuel to get there and get back. So that's why he's strategic. I'm just mentioning that. And he's continuing to work with people. I'm talking to a gentleman in the United States who has an airline. And we're working on flying some jets down here, so we're coordinating that with Pat. I talked to another gentleman who has another jet that he wants to bring down with medical supplies and construction materials. He has a construction company. We have Dr. Simmons handling our medical team. There are a lot of medical needs right now, and we need coordination. Dr. Simmons was able to speak with persons who called in and they say, we have medical supplies. Now, you may think it's straightforward. If you have medical supplies, just send it in. But the government has said, we don't want expired medical supplies and things like that. So Dr. Simmons was able to talk to the people and tell them, you can bring this in, but not that. Amen? And then we have logistics. We have Philip Burrows. What he's doing is he's talking with the shippers and telling them how to get things in, how to get it coordinated, coordinating the shipments to the islands. Communications, we have Davriel. That's my daughter, Davriel. Where's Davriel? Come, Davriel. So we have Davriel. Then for the rebuilding, and if I mispronounce any of these categories, just remember they're all in there somewhere, and we'll get the names right. But rebuilding, we have Melissa Bethel. She's involved in the architectural and other world, and she's been strategic in that area. Do you work at the Ministry of Works, or you worked at the Ministry of Works at one time? No? Yeah? Yes. Okay. So we need somebody in the Ministry of Works. And you know, I tell you something that's been strategic. We have had people in strategic positions who are associated with BFM or members of BFM or former members of BFM at an amazing level. When you turn on the TV and you see Trevor Baisden, the director of meteorology, that's one of our members. Amen? The chairman of the Port Authority in Freeport, the president of the Port Authority, that's one of our members on our board in Freeport. Amen? Covering our members' needs, we have Pastor Allen. Some of these we don't have names for yet, but I think some of these names are there. I just didn't have them at the time. Counseling and evangelism, we have Brother Burton Lockhart, who's already deployed. Sharon Campbell and Burton Lockhart. Brother Burton is actually in Freeport. I'm going to show you what he's doing in a minute. And we have Eldon Johnson as well. And then, so now I want to give you some steps and guidelines. Now, if you can assist in any of these areas, I want you to see these people after church, if you can assist them, okay? Because this is not just a one-week thing. This is an ongoing thing that we're going to be working on. Now, what are the steps and guidelines and timelines that we are working with? The first step was to establish communication. We needed to let people know how to reach us and how they can help. That was done on September 1st. The next step was a needs assessment. This is ongoing. We now have a good idea of a needs assessment from Freeport, but not Abaco as yet. But I was just on the phone with some high-level contacts in Abaco, and we are getting information, better information now on how to help. Abaco is a strategic nightmare because there's no light, there's no water, and it's hard to figure out who to communicate with sometimes because you don't have telephone access. But I've spoken with a very, very high-level person in Abaco who is a senior person in government, and we are working with them to try to get information as to who we can tangibly talk to in Abaco. Abaco has been difficult. Freeport is pretty much established. This week, we want to coordinate taking a team down to Freeport. Once the emergency flights are done, Pastor Larry in Freeport is setting up things so that we can have teams to go in to assist. In Freeport, we have a 15,000 square foot warehouse and a 5,000 square foot warehouse, and items are going into that warehouse, and Pastor Larry is coordinating a distribution team that's going to distribute those items. Amen? The next thing is we want to coordinate with our donors for air and ocean shipments. This is already happening. We were on the phone. We have some video of the planes landing, the helicopter landing, and so on. And then we want to prepare teams to travel. Now, if you want to assist, here's an items list. These are things that you can assist with. Building products, diapers, feminine products, toiletries, sheets, baby food, comforters, toilet paper, pain relievers, roofing materials, non-perishable food, generators, blankets, and so on. I just want to mention to you some of the people who are already partnering with us. These are our international partners. I mentioned before Itwila. Itwila has already had people on the ground. We have Operation Blessing, which is from CBN in Virginia Beach. We have Convoy of Hope, which is the Assemblies of God organization. We have Church Growth International. I'm meeting with them beginning tomorrow night. I'm meeting with them to coordinate some relief efforts here in the Bahamas. Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse is already in the ground on Freeport, and they have brought 40 doctors, and they are putting together a hospital. Amen? And the person who is coordinating that, he's the regional director for Samaritan's Purse in the region, is a member of our board in Freeport. And then we have Ron Luce. Many of you remember Ron Luce. Ron Luce is working on several efforts with me. Victory Christian Center, Christ Alive, Joseph Passad in New York. I just mentioned Brother Passad. He's a pastor in New York. I spoke at his church a few months ago. He called me and he said, Pastor Dave, what do you need? I said, well, right now we need a generator. He said, okay, give me a couple of minutes. And then he sent me back a picture. He bought it on Amazon and shipped it to our warehouse in Freeport. These people are in action. Amen? Linda Collymore and Covenant Churches of West Palm Beach. They have already sent several shipments, and I'm going to show you what they're doing from their warehouse. Fernando Gonzalez, who's a member of Itwila. He flew in probably one of the first helicopters with medical supplies. We have Judah One Airline. We have North Dallas Community Bible Fellowship. They are planning something. Sowe, California. Our very own E.J. Achara. She's working on an effort in Chicago. And TD Contractors. We have Bishop Wallace from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and others. Those are just a small list. Now, let's talk about what we have done so far. We need to know what has already happened. We have begun shipments. This is Brother Fernando Gonzalez, the guy with the shades on, sunglasses on in the picture. That is Fernando. Fernando is a member of our association. Fernando, you can see there, he is loading a plane of supplies into Freeport. That plane has already gone into Freeport. He has already done, I think, at least 3 or 4 flights, and they're on their way back. Amen? These are 2 of our members. We have our praise and worship leader in Freeport on the right, and one of our ushers and other strategic members on the left. They are unloading a shipment. This shipment that went in yesterday has water-making machines. So you can make water. Amen? This is one of the boats that came from West Palm Beach. And the boat is full of water and other supplies. This is the boat here being launched. That's Pastor Larry and Pastor Pepe. Pastor Pepe flew in. Many of you know Pastor Pepe. Pastor Pepe flew in with Fernando, and they went on the ground. This is the team here. The guy on the truck, this is the guy who brought in the water-making machines. And then our people are there unloading the machines. This is another flight. So this is a different flight than the one we saw before. This is the one Pastor Pepe came on. Pastor Pepe said, you know, this ain't my size plane, but, but I'm going. Yeah. And this is Brother Burton and Brother Robert. Brother Robert flew down yesterday. Brother Robert asked me, he said, Pastor Dave, you know if anybody going down? I said, boy, I don't know. I asked Pat. Pat said he didn't know. But Brother Burton called me from there. He said, man, I hike a ride to Freeport and I'm on my way. So Brother Burton is there with his brother. His brother is the president of the Christian Council in Freeport, and he is there working as well. Okay, and that's the flight that they took to Freeport. And this is the BFMI team taking the boxes from the airport and storing them in the office. We have a warehouse that we are setting up, but for the time being, the stuff that came in, we have an office space in Freeport that we stored it in. This is Fernando in the hospital delivering the medical supplies and talking to the medical personnel. This is another plane. So it's not just 1, 2, or 3 planes. It's many planes, okay? You see this plane here being loaded with boxes. And these are some of the people from some of the foreign agencies, Operation Blessing, Samaritan's Purse, on the ground talking with our people there. This is Pastor Pepe with Burton and Robert Lockhart. This is the warehouse in West Palm Beach where they are collecting stuff. It's important for you to know what we are doing, okay? And so these are some other shots there. And we have more stuff coming in every day. So now here's another thing that we can assist with. A lot of evacuees are coming in from Abaco, and we need to help them. So if you have a place to stay, it doesn't have to be a perfect place. Some people don't have any shelter, and they may end up staying in the gym, but they can only stay in the gym for a certain amount of time. So if you have a place where you can house somebody, stop by afterwards and speak with Pastor Kirsch and let him know what you have available. There's a form that Pastor Kirsch has organized for you, and they're going to bring up that form in the screen in a moment. And the ushers will hand it out also. But that form allows you to indicate how you can help. Now, let me just say this about the housing. If you have I can accommodate 4 males from Abaco. So if you have somebody from Abaco who needs housing, talk to me. I'm not accommodating them personally, but I have a connection to get them accommodated. A friend of mine, we are working on a plan. This is the form that you're going to use, and these forms are available afterwards. So tell us what you can do. It has indicators as to what areas you can help in and what items you can supply. We have a warehouse here in Nassau off of Gladstone Road. You can get directions. Today we are bringing things to church, but from this point on, we'll give you information as to how to get it directly to the warehouse. And from the warehouse, it'll be shipped out. Okay? So whatever area you can make a contribution in. Now, the other thing is we want to take a special offering. We want to receive a special offering today. So whatever you can give specifically for hurricane relief, put it in the storehouse envelope. And what you can do is at the end of the service, you can just come and bring it up right here at the altar, okay? So specific hurricane relief will go in the storehouse envelope. That's the purple envelopes. So you can take one of those and put your gifts that are designated specifically for hurricane relief in that. Amen? Pastor Kirsch, you had anything to say?
Just one quick thing I want to say. Those forms, can you give us those forms now? The whole idea is those who want to have persons stay in their homes, who will allow persons to stay in their homes, we want to give them out now. Please raise your hands. Okay. And this form can also be used to indicate what items that you want to bring in, you're going to be bringing in. So we want that to happen as well. Also, I want to ask Orderly RTs to come up. Orderly is responsible for building. So he's going to be responsible for any of those homes that are needing to be restored on the islands or even right here who have been impacted. Ann Hutchison as well. Ann, can you come up as well? Ann is going to be dealing with clothing. So when you bring your clothes in, Ann and her team, they're going to, and her husband as well. Sorry, Tura, I saw you there. Let's give Tura a round of applause as well. He's going to be helping out as well. Ann is not as good as he is without Tura. I want you to know that now. Don't think because Ann talks a lot. They're going to be here packaging stuff, putting it together. This is the spot where you want to bring your stuff. As members, you want to bring your things here, and Sue's going to speak a little bit about that. I want her to just talk about how to organize that. But as far as this form is concerned, this form needs to be completed today and handed out. And the simple reason for that is because Melissa Yana attended a meeting on Friday where they were talking about evacuees, and they were talking about all those persons who are coming to Nassau who are needing residents somewhere to stay. They're going to need you to complete this saying that you want these people to be in your home. This is most important. We have a lot of persons who are coming to Nassau, don't have anywhere to stay. In fact, I know one of our members is now housing, last time I heard, 13 persons in their home. So I know that that's something at the end of the day. If we can all spread that around, it's important for you to be able to do that. Also at this time, I'll say that it is important for us to serve at all levels. And so today, after the service, we're going to be at the back with the forms. All those who want to serve in these teams right up here, you can sign up. We need you. We really need you at this time to sign up and say what you can do. What are you willing to give at this time? I'm going to allow my wife now to just say something.
Come on, let's give the Lord a hand that you are in the land of the living. The hurricane didn't come in Nassau, but we can help those who are in Abaco and Grand Bahama. And so you may ask, what can I do at this time? You see some labels all around the left side of this building. And what we want you to do, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, the boat leaves for Grand Bahama. And what we want you to do to come in. Some of you might have stuff in the car. We want you to bring the stuff, put it here. We need to get them to the boat by 12 o'clock because there are people with immediate needs. And so we want Bahamas Faith Ministry to help. We want you to plant your best seed. Talking about the best seed, you can go on those who are watching also, you can go on our Facebook page and go to the GoFund button and click, and please give us your best donations. Also on our website, Bahamas Faith Ministry website, we have a relief fund. You can also go and click the button and give us your donation. We so appreciate this. You don't know, we are not there. We have not gone through this. We are so grateful, but we want to be able to give to those who cannot help. Some people lost homes and business. They have to start from ground zero. You know, I've seen all the videos and I'm still touched by some of the people who are talking about what they went through, but we have not gone through it. And so we can help. So give the Lord a round of applause for what he has done in our lives and for thanking him for all the funds that he's going to bring in so that we can help others.